Bonjour à tous, hello everyone, and welcome back to Mac Island. This is Mac Plays on Mac, and we are entering episode 10. In the last episode, we started the densification of our downtown area, and we created also some small neighborhood utilizing mainly our beach property asset pack. Also, we worked on detailing some of the parks, getting more details, benches, and props, and finally, we built a monstrosity of a farm. That's something that's gonna need to be fixed very soon. Our island is running out of land, so we're gonna start a little reclamation program in this episode and build a small neighborhood, like kind of a port kind of thing with marinas and stuff like this. Another way to free up some land is to move our industry out of the island as well. Because the ground pollution takes a while to go away, it means that we're gonna have some vacant lot in our city for a bit. Part of the last part of this episode, we are gonna work on our general hospital and the neighborhood surrounding it. Alright, let's jump in it. We are first gonna start with some detailing. So this part that I built in one of the first episode 4 I think, is looking pretty bare. So we're gonna add more prop and decoration, like adding a bunch of benches all around on that path that I created, and also trees around there as well, a bit everywhere. We also are gonna add some bushes using the prop light tool, just here and there. Perfect. And some big old tree to make like this park old, like feel like it's like part of the city, it's been there for a while. I was keeping that space to create an actual beach around there, but the thing is, beach, I don't know where they're gonna be there. Even if we got the beach asset property pack, we don't really have a way to make an actual functioning beach yet. So in the meantime, we're just gonna reuse that space and put some actually assets over there. Some houses, nothing too big. Now, big parking spot like this in an area that's getting dense are a waste of spaces. So we're gonna diminish that parking spot by half, and we are gonna create a denser place on the other side of that. So this is where you're gonna see me fail at propping a nice little block. I really don't know all of the assets yet, and not being able to see what they look like makes you kind of like not really play like whack-a-mole, but like I have to prop all of them and to delete the one that I don't think goes together. So you right now see me like just trying out what goes with what, and we cannot even change the color of the building yet. I couldn't find an asset to do that, so that's how I'm doing it. I'm just winging it so far, and some buildings don't fit together, like the other one was way too big. Like this one, they look like the scale fits much better. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna add in the middle a little courtyard area, maybe with some trees and a pathway, just to make it look like it's useful. So I love it. I'm gonna add some benches. The thing is, in a few minutes, half of it is gonna disappear. Now we're gonna try to build a custom parking lot. For this, we're gonna use the invisible road path. The asset I'm currently using comes straight up with a perpendicular parking lot. So one of the mistakes I did was to make it touch to the road. You actually make it right next to it without having it connecting to the road. But I will fix that very soon. Also, now the last thing to do is you're gonna find the surface you want, the kind of concrete, and you're just gonna plop it around over there. And here you go, et voila! You have a perfect parking lot that you custom made, custom tailored for this area. We just need to add a bit of vegetation, trees and bushes to make it fit perfectly. This parking lot, I'm not gonna lie to you, is awful, too big, and it's gonna be redone. Our population is booming. We now have more than 20,000 inhabitants in our city. So because of such a big population, we need now better medical facilities. And for this, we're gonna find a place where to put our new general hospital. So I'm looking around to see in what block it will fit the best. And I think I found this one right next to the high school, where it's not gonna do much perturbation to the grid itself. It perfectly fits. So now because of this, it allows us to redevelop the area next to it. And what a coincidence, it actually fit right next to that neighborhood we just worked a few minutes ago. And as you can see, this is where I saw that the building disappeared in the past. So now I did this one, I'm looking and I see like the density doesn't really match anymore with the neighborhood. So we're gonna as well redevelop the couple block adjacent to that hospital. In terms of density, we're not going too crazy. When I go medium density, I just build like small squares so it doesn't build too up. And then I'm going for single row housing and a couple of the mixed residential density. And as we did on the other side of the hospital, this area now with like just single home doesn't really match the density with a big hospital like this, big building. So I decided to put a new parking because now it's getting very dense over there. So this one is an underground parking, and then we're gonna resume the same type of density as we did on the opposite side with smaller buildings but denser and bigger and a bit taller. And that's what we come up with. I'm not as big fan as if I plotted myself all of this, but I think it actually fits together pretty well, meaning that that giant hospital building doesn't feel out of place anymore. As our population is booming, the need of them grow. So, for example, for our post services now, we need to build a storage facility. That building is huge. So of course it's not gonna go into the island itself, but more closer to the new industrial area we're gonna build and next to our old tram depot. So it actually fits perfectly, a tiny bit tight, so I'm using move it to move it a bit tiny closer to the street. And also we're gonna create a path because there is tram stop over there, so employee can actually walk to work if they want to. And we also gonna add some parking lots that's actually gonna be shared between the tram and the post storing facility. While we're in this area, we're gonna buy more tiles, actually even more than that. Yes, and oh, come on, let's just get all of it. Come on, here you go. And with a direct access to the highway, this is perfect land for the new industries that we're gonna build to free up the downtown area. So I'm connecting this to what we just built earlier, and this will be a local connection to our island. But in the meantime too, we are going to connect this to the highway system, so the cars don't have to go all the way down to that roundabout and then back onto that local road. I converted that local road to a little highway just so the traffic can move faster to the center of the city, but also no building are going to be built anyway. So just to make sure that doesn't happen and we're not tempted, we're going to use this kind of road. Now we're going for a basic grid with a roundabout here and another one on the top over there. We're gonna make sure to limit the amount of connection between the local road and the collector, just so this collector can keep the traffic moving. And that's one of the things with industrial areas. They have just so much traffic they create all the time. So I'm trying to keep it smooth, and that's why you're gonna see that on the main intersections, you're gonna find big roundabout to keep that flow going. Now here we're gonna make an entry exit on this side. I'm not gonna go for anything crazy that's gonna go on the other side of the interstate. Unfortunately, for this they're gonna have to use that highway that goes south and go back to that main roundabout to be able to exit on the other side. But here this one is just gonna be a direct connection, and a bit later down we're gonna do the same on the other side. Let's not forget it to the power and to the water, just like this. I actually decided to create their own converter because this is going to be a big energy drawer. On top of it, we're going to create some commercial area over there, so people, if they want to go to lunch or stuff like this, they don't have to go all the way back into the city. And for the same reason, we're going to build a fire station as well. Okay, so now that we have all of that land available for development, we can finally get rid of all of these industries over there. We're gonna start by unzoning or dezoning all of these industries. Hopefully that's gonna help to get more demand for that new area we built. Let's take a look. So I think it's a win. Relocation mission accomplished. All of the land has been used. Now we're gonna create an actual district and rename it South Industries. Alright, it's time to try to redevelop this freed area. So my idea is to plop a bunch of single row housing. So I went with a double alley on the other side. It's a bad idea, it's gonna go anyway. We are gonna go 3 unit depth on this single row for the main one, and the center one are gonna go 2 unit depth. So I'm having issues being able to plop all of this, and I figured out actually now it's because of the pollution that is not developing. So maybe having housing is not the best idea to redevelop on this. So that's why I decided to go with some commercial areas on the other lot over there, and I'm also gonna try to plop it myself. If they don't want to do it, let's force it. That's the idea. So this worked and no complaints so far. We're just gonna add a bit of tree over there to buffer them from the noise of that main street. And honestly, for the rest of them, we're just gonna wait until the growth appears naturally, because I feel like it's actually better, because most of these citizens are gonna get sick if they are forced to be there, or the house is gonna be abandoned. Something that's pretty cool with the new feature added by the mod and that water tool over there is we're going to be able to create an island. So you see that little thing connected by a bridge over there? I want to make it an island. I think it will be a great feature, a great asset for the city. I went for the smallest thing available possible, so we'll see if it's too much water or not. Also that pathway needs to go, and we're going to build a bridge instead. When I first thought about it, I guess I did a mistake. But anyway, let's see how the water is handling this. Looks like no flooding. Mission accomplished. I spotted some dead space over there, so we're gonna try to cram a few houses. At least it's gonna be just single houses for now, single home. So we're gonna go with smaller lot sizes so we can try to put as many as possible. And finally, we're coming to my favorite part of this build. We are gonna try to reclaim some land. So at first, I'm gonna try to do that naturally by just creating road and having them filled using the road tool and putting a pump in the middle over there. So, spoiler alert, that's not working. The level of water did not move a single inch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually fill it ourselves, and we're gonna retry this again. Key walls and retaining walls are our best friends for this build. It's just crazy how much power they give us right now. But unfortunately, as much as I try with this, as powerful as this tool, we are not able to make one side of the road as a key, and the other one we can not just downgrade it to being a regular road. So that's an issue I hope we're gonna be able to do in the future, and that's gonna be fixed. But in the meantime, I decided to just rebuild the street as a regular road and finally moving it as a key on the side. Like, to explain myself better, you cannot go from a bridge to a regular road. You cannot force that, unfortunately. And that's something that I would love to be able to see implemented into that mode. But thanks again, this mod is just amazing. So we're starting by putting some Mediterranean type of houses next to that building, signature building we have on top of it. We're gonna connect the power over there and the water so things can start to develop. We are gonna start to build in terrace all the way over there. So we're gonna smooth down first. So we're gonna be able to see where are the best available spots to spawn roads and then building next to that. Even if density is key, especially in area as small as this, I'm trying to build like smaller type of building, but to put as much as I can of them. And that's why you're seeing like me trying to use every single inches available. Now that being said, for this area over there, we're gonna go actually for smaller square than the one we built earlier, and we're gonna also make it an island actually by itself. And this one is gonna be a very exclusive one. Only 2 houses are gonna be developing on that piece of land. Now on the other side, I'm thinking about something more like dense a bit, but for now at least. You're gonna see that I'm gonna change my mind, and I'm actually gonna go with an even bigger mansion. We're gonna go with a signature building after, you'll see. But here, I think that we can do better. Because I needed to have a road over there, I think that it's the perfect place to put some single row housing. They're gonna have like the free in-depth that's gonna fit just perfectly. So for whatever reason, I'm not able to get rid of that piece over there, but what I'm gonna end up doing in the future is to just rebuild that road so this can go away. Now for here, we're just gonna go as close as possible from the road, from the wall, and we are gonna plop some building, and we're gonna go with the single row housing 2 unit depth. So I know I'm still zoning over there because I guess I haven't made my mind up about what's gonna be there, or I totally changed my mind after. I want a pedestrian connection to go from the top to the bottom, so like people don't need a car if they don't want to. I think that would be the best thing. But they do also have that giant parking lot that's technically the college parking lot, but now they're gonna share it, and this is why I changed my mind. I'm like, that thing is amazing, let's try to make it fit. So I had a bit to cheat. I had to extend the area, and for whatever reason it still sinks, so I need to do it again. I mean, it took me a while to figure it out, but I made it work, and I honestly think it's actually amazing. And here, because I felt guilty about putting such a big house and use so much land just for one family, I decided to add a bigger apartments next to it. Now let's put trees everywhere, let's decorate everything, let's make it look like a whole just beautiful neighborhood. I do think that adding that landscape, like a similar landscape everywhere, just add cohesion to the area, make it feel like a unit. And that's about it for today. So now we finish this, let's take a look at everything we'll build up today, okay? Et voilà, this is the end of the episode 11 of Mac Island. This is Mac Plays on Mac. Merci beaucoup à tous. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in today. Et je vous dis à la semaine prochaine. Au revoir. Bye bye.